why isn't my chrome sticking, or why is my chrome sticking where it shouldn't be sticking? Today I'm going to take you through some tips and tricks to do your isolated chrome designs. So I've already polished out a few different nails here, and I've been using our Manicure Color. Now, Manicure Color does have a tacky surface to it. I haven't cleansed off that tacky surface. I haven't put any other top coats or anything on here. But if I were to take my chrome powders and try to apply that over my isolated chrome, you're going to see that that powder is actually going to stick to the whole entire nail because of that tacky surface underneath. So you want to make sure that you're using a product that's not going to have that tacky surface. And I find that the best option are tack-free matte top coat. We also have our regular Manicure matte top coat. So I'm going to polish out our Manicure matte top coat. So we got our Manicure on our first one, and then our tack-free on our second. And again, we'll just polish these out. I'm going to fully cure these for 60 seconds. All right, so our matte top coats are cured out. So you can see on our tack-free matte top coat, that is completely tack-free. Once it's cured, there's no tacky surface to wipe. It's good to go. With our Manicure matte finish top coat, this one we do have to cleanse. So I would take my Manicure cleanser and cleanse that nail surface. But what can happen, and I'm not sure if you can even see this on camera, but there may still be some areas that maybe you missed your missed cleansing off that tacky surface. So what can happen if you were to apply your chrome and it got on any of those tacky surfaces that you missed, you can see it's not adhering to the rest of that nail, but up in that area where you didn't cleanse that nail completely, it's going to still stick up there. So if you're going to be using the Manicure matte top coat, you have to make sure that you do completely cleanse that surface all the way through to make sure that there is no stickiness to that at all, okay? But if you do use that matte tack-free top coat, you can apply your chrome and it's not going to stick to anywhere except where you do have that design, so where you want your isolated chrome to be. When you are doing your design, so when you're creating your outlines or whatever design you want to do with your isolated chrome, a couple of options that you can use for that design would be either your Mission Control gel paints or the Ultimate Finish top coat. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do our tack-free matte top coat on our next nail here as well, just so you can see. So we're going to cure this one out again for a full 60 seconds. Okay, so our nail is cured out. So now we've got those two nails with the tack-free top coat on, completely tack-free. Nothing's going to stick except where we want it to stick. Now here's something that people tend to want to do at this point is because they've got that matte finish, they want their gel to stick on top, so they end up adding a coat of Protein Bond. Okay, at this point, this is one of the few times that I'm going to say skip the Protein Bond. Most of the time, I'm going to tell you when in doubt, use Protein Bond. But again, we don't want to be putting any kind of a sticky surface onto this nail because we only want the area that we're adding our design to have grip. And Protein Bond is going to have a tacky surface to it. So you want to, at this point, avoid your Protein Bond as well. So I'm going to show you really quickly both our Mission Control gel paints and doing the design also with our Ultimate Finish top coat. So with the Mission Control, this is going to be a great option for you because you can actually see exactly where you are painting your design. So if we take a little bit of that, and again, whatever design you want to create, if you're kind of trying to do kind of that picture in a picture frame look, you can just come in and draw in your designs, create whatever kind of pattern you'd like. You can actually see exactly where you are putting this design and where you are creating that outline. Okay, so you can make your picture perfect however you want to. And you guys, I'm not super concerned about what my picture looks like at this point. But when you're using the Mission Control, you're going to put that into the light and you're going to freeze that into place for, I would say, up to 30 seconds. So then we can take, and you guys, I'm just using just a little makeup applicator, just a little sponge applicator. But again, at this point, our Mission Control is not completely cured out. So it's going to have that grip to it. Okay, so you can just take that little sponge and apply that chrome all the way through. Okay, now same thing with our Ultimate Finish, but Ultimate Finish is going to be a little bit trickier because we can't actually see where it's going. So when I'm doing my designs with our Ultimate Finish, I'll usually take a little bit of that put it onto my tile. Now again, because we're working with a clear gel, it's going to be a little bit trickier to see. So you may have to kind of tilt the nail a little bit or move it in different directions so that you can actually see where that gel is applying and adhering to the nail. So if you're doing a little bit more intricate designs, I tend to like to use the mission control just because it's easier for me to see. Now here I'm just kind of tilting that so I can see the light reflecting on my gel, so that way I can see exactly where I'm putting that. But you're going to get a little bit of a variation in color when you're using the black versus the clear. So it just kind of depends on what look you're going for. So if we pop this back into the light, again, we're going to cure this for another 30 seconds. Okay, so at this point, again, that ultimate finish top coat is cured. So we'll go ahead and add our chrome. But again, you're going to be able to see it's a little bit of a different look now that we're using the clear versus using that black mission control. So with that black, it's going to kind of reflect that chrome a little bit more, and you're going to get more of a bold look. Whereas with that ultimate finish, it's just going to be a little bit of a softer look to it. Now, the other thing at this point, you can see we do have a little bit of chrome powder still kind of on the nail. You want to make sure that you're using a nice fluffy soft brush to dust that off. You don't want to be using your manicure brush or anything like that, because the manicure brush can actually kind of scrape off and remove some of that dust. So again, you want to make sure that you're using something nice and soft and fluffy to remove the rest of that chrome. Okay. Now at this time, because we only cured the mission control and the ultimate finish top coat for 30 seconds, we want to put that back into the light. So this way it's going to really grip onto that chrome and really kind of seal that chrome into place. So we're going to go into the light for another 30-second cure to really solidify that chrome onto the nail. So our chrome is cured on there. Now how do we seal this design? Okay, you can use your choice of top coat to seal, but I do like to use 2 coats. So on our nail here today, because I've got one of our full cover tips, I'm going to use our manicure top coat. This is going to be a little bit more flexible over the nail. Now with 1 coat, you're going to be able to kind of see there may be still a little bit of texture to that. If you don't mind that extra texture, you can just leave it with 1 coat of top coat. But if you want a little bit more of a smooth finish, you can go ahead and do 2 coats of top coat. Okay, so our top coat is cured on that. For this nail, because we did use the manicure top coat, I would need to use the manicure cleanse to make sure that I remove all of that tacky finish. Now, something to note is if you look very close, or at this point you kind of want to check and make sure, did you get that chrome sealed all the way through? Because sometimes if you're not quite accurate with your top coat, you may end up with a little bit of that chrome that has not been covered. So make sure that if, as you're top coating, that you are completely covering that. But when that top coat is done curing, make sure, because this way, if you need to add another coat of top coat, you can always add that extra coat of top coat. And we've got a fairly smooth finish, so I'm going to go ahead and just cleanse the surface of that nail. So that nail would be ready to go. Now, if you want to add a little bit of extra glimmer and glitz to your nail, we could fill in that surface or fill in that the center with a glitter mixture or other kind of artwork. So on our last nail here, I'm going to just go through the whole process again, and we'll finish this with a little bit of kind of that design and that glitter in the middle. So again, we've got our nail polished out. I'm going to go through and seal this with 1 coat of our matte top coat, our tack-free matte top coat, and we will cure this for a full 60 seconds. All right, so our nail is cured out. We are back to that matte finish, and I'm going to work with our mission control. So I'm just going to draw in, again, just a fun little kind of picture in a picture frame look. All right, so we're going to go back into the light. I'm going to cure this for 30 seconds, and then we'll mix up a little bit of glitter. All right, so while this nail is curing, let me go ahead and set that for 30 seconds. So while that's curing, I'm going to mix up our glitter. And when I'm doing my isolated chrome, I'm not trying to really build up bulk. I'm just going to try to add a little bit of glitter to the center of that design. So I'm going to use a little bit of a thinner gel, and I'm working with our manicure top coat. So I'm just going to put a little of that manicure top coat onto my mixing tile. For today, I'm using Diamond Dust, which is just a really pretty, kind of a multicolor iridescent glitter. But I'm just going to start by mixing that together combining all of that glitter into the top coat. And I can see it's kind of looking a little bit chunky. It's not quite combining very well. So that's going to show me that I do need a little bit more of that manicure top coat. So we'll just kind of drip a little bit more right in there. And it should be kind of a soft texture. It should flow a little bit. So if we take our nails back out here, mission control is set. So we're going to add our chrome on top of that. Again, we'll just take a little bit of that chrome powder and just kind of work that into our design. And then again, we'll use our soft brush to dust that off. Get all those last little pieces of chrome off of there. After taking all that dust off, we're going to go back into our light one more time to really just kind of set that chrome back into kind of that uncured gel. So this is going to fully cure our mission control underneath, and that way our chrome is going to really be nice and set into that nail. All right, our chrome is now set into that nail. And at this point, you have an option of either top coating or not top coating. It's really kind of a personal preference. If you don't top coat it, it's probably going to be fine. But I do like to go back through with one coat of our manicure top coat just to really seal in that chrome, so that when I'm adding my glitter, I'm not going to scratch or scrape that chrome or remove it in any spots. So I do like to kind of go through just a quick thin layer of top coat to really seal that chrome in. And you can cure that for at least 30 seconds up to a minute. It doesn't have to be fully cured at this point because we are going to add another coat on top. And our top coat is set. So we're just going to pick up a little bit of that glitter mixture and just kind of set that down in there. We don't need a lot, just a little bit to kind of give us that glitter and give us that sparkle. So I'm just using our master gel brush, just picking up small little bits of that, kind of working that through all the way down the nail. Now, if you feel like you need to get a little bit closer into some of those little corners, you could definitely use that liner brush as well. And you can use that to just kind of tuck those in there, spread that glitter a little bit better into all those little corners wherever you need to. So we're going to go back into the light again. We're going to set that into place and freeze again for another 30 seconds. Okay, so our glitter is cured in there. We're now going to seal this with one more coat of top coat. We're going back into our light one last time for a full 60-second cure. This is going to cure everything all the way through, and then we'll finish up the nail. Okay, so this nail is cured out. We'll take that off. And one more time to finish this nail, we're going to use a little bit of that manicure cleanser, clean off that tacky surface, and your isolated chrome design is ready to go. All right, so hopefully some of these tips and tricks will help you to do your isolated chrome and get that really nice crisp design.